Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm so excited in today's video. As we're gonna get into is a build for once, and I feel like it's been a minute. We did this live on Twitch, so I'm sorry if the editing isn't perfect to a T, but either way, I wanted to show you guys what we built. We ended on a random theme, and the theme ended up being nature, so we ended up building our library nature themed, and I'm so very excited. I don't want to spoil anything else, so let's get into the build. So with the overall idea of nature, this was just randomly generated. I had everybody create a list. We had fun with it. I just knew I had some ideas, but I didn't know which one I wanted to like fall upon. Like I wasn't head over heels any of them. Like there was like coziness, coffee. I think someone put in pink, 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 which we all do love. Kawaii themed here, and we ended up on nature. I can't really remember the other ones. I think there was like gamer. There was science themed. Like just a bunch of different ideas that way. And I think fishbowl was one of them, which I did implement into this build design, which is why I knew I wanted that front bit to have like a bunch of windows I thought would be really pretty. And I do love the way it ended up. I don't want to spoil too much because I had no idea. Like when I say the matter of like how many things I built and changed and just deleted and re-added was honestly what made this build end up being 6 hours. If I had a better idea or if I had some reference pics, I feel like I would have had like it would have went quicker at least, but I didn't, and I'm definitely not as confident with my builds. But I absolutely love how this turned out, and I'm really appreciative of everybody who stuck through the 6 hours of me building this because I do love the way it turned out. It took a lot of time, and we did do all like the nature and like planting each little rock and everything live on Twitch, so it was time consuming for certain matters, but it was a lot of fun, and I feel like I can't emphasize enough how much I do love the final look. And as for the roofing changes so much. It's like one of the things that changes a lot, which you'll see through the sequences later on, which I obviously, one, I fast forward this video, and two, I clipped it a lot so you guys didn't have to deal with that, and especially when it comes to copy and pasting. And I'm so sorry, I have cat hair on my face. I have been getting cat loves, so I'm sorry if I'm like oh god, there's cat hair on my face. So I'm sorry. If you've seen my videos, you've seen my kitty cats, or if you've been part of our live streams, you've seen them there. They do like to make themselves present, but right now their hair is just present on my face. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to apologize. I don't know, touching my face so much throughout a video, I'm just like, Jesus, help! But back into the build itself, as you guys can see, we got like the fishbowl little area, and that does change a lot. The roofing changed it a lot, and picking the door took us so long. Like that was one of the things that I was like, we pulled out a bunch of different doors. There's certain doors I fell in love with, but then I changed the style of like by adding, what is it called, columns and the roofing style, and it just didn't really work out. So that took us a minute, but ended up falling in love with one door with the glass paneling, and we stuck with that. I do change the roofing on the doorway also, just because I did not realize while designing this area how much the roof stuck in when you're building and whatnot, which I did not know how to get rid of, so I just changed that roof later on. I'm not quite sure if you see it in the video here, but you will see it in the final tour, which I'm excited to get into, which we probably will see a lot more mistakes. Knowing me, I feel like tours are just meant to find little things that I've forgotten to do and whatnot, even though I know we did one live, but we'll see. But here's just a quick glimpse. I do kind of click through this, is the landscaping. My idea was just, well, not really an idea. I just pulled out all the flowers that I felt like kind of matched and fit the theme, and we selected and used a few. For one was lavender. I fell head over heels. I don't know why lavender. I personally love lavender. I don't know why lavender for this build. I think it was mainly to do with the flowers on the wall that were dangling, and I was like, those are pretty. We'll bring out the purple. We'll use those everywhere. And yeah, as for the pathway itself, I did change that a lot, which you don't really see. It was just kind of experimenting. Like I said, I clipped out a lot because either you guys watched like it was like an hour long before I clipped out stuff of just build time, fast forward. So I was like, okay, let me try to edit out all the times that I clipped through, like back and forth, all the times. I wanted to show some parts that like changed, but not all of it is in here because it would have been way, way, way longer of a video. And as much as I love talking that long, there's only so much I can explain other than the fact that I thought it was originally a good idea, but ended up not being, in my opinion, or in other people's opinion, because we were building this together live, and I appreciated everybody's opinions on it. As for the bathrooms, is kind of where I started with the whole like mapping out the area and whatnot. It just kind of fit. Honestly, I feel like the mapping the area out, I didn't have too much issues. Like, I didn't have to rearrange a whole lot. There was a few items I was just like, we needed. Like, I completely forgot until the very end when I was about to upload is that I forgot a chess table. So we'll see that in the final tour. But certain areas like this with the bookshelves, it just worked out really well. But as for the bookshelves itself, I knew right away that I had to pick a bookshelf that would dictate the whole library because it would have to fit and we'd have to utilize it a lot. But that's kind of why I ended up on the Book Nook bookshelves because one, you can like attach them and whatnot and place them as you please and you can choose to do certain colors. And I really like that they added the detail of one that's a little empty while some has the books, and it just gave it a sense of realism. And it doesn't have the extra doodads of like trinkets and stuff, which would fit more in a home but not on a public lot. And now moving forward, I don't really show me placing pictures and whatnot, so that will be just kind of thrown in and you'll see that later on. But for this little area, I thought it'd be kind of cute to like, what's it called, like have bookshelves around hugging the stairwell. I just thought that'd be kind of nice, and it kind of gives it more of a like a library or like a fun texture, like not texturally, architecturally designed place. Not that I know anything about architecture, but I thought it'd be kind of fun there. And having like a little cubby hole that people can read in, like especially kids. But I don't think your sim can get in there. We didn't have time to play test because like I said, this build took me 6 hours and some change. But I'm pretty sure knowing our sims, they can't get under stairs as well. So even if maybe, well, I'll play test it later. I know I will be using this. I guess I didn't preface that, is that I'll be using this build for a series, which I feel like I've mentioned here and there on my channel and here and there on live. It's something I'm been slowly working up towards. We have plenty of series going on right now on my channel, but I'm building this one and I really want to make it very edited, if that makes sense. It's just gonna take time and effort, and like I'm building all these lots that will be utilized in the storyline that I've scripted. But either way, I'm having fun with the process of building it. Hopefully it'll turn out as amazing as I want to, considering how much time and effort it's being put into it. But I am still learning a lot with recording and whatnot and editing. But we'll see. I just wanted to hint at that. I've been hinting at it for a while. I have a few more builds I need to do, and then we'll be getting into the recording, hopefully. Cross our fingers. I've built a few of the characters and whatnot, but that's enough spoils. Let's get back into this build. That's kind of out of context, especially if you just like watching build videos, but either way, let's get back into this one, which I absolutely love the way it turned out. A lot of it was experimenting, like this whole seating area. I knew I wanted something in the middle, but I wasn't quite sure what, which ended up being utilizing these chairs, which are kind of weird because I know they have the blanket on it, but they just kind of worked really well. I liked the texture, and I knew I wanted a divider, and so the plants worked out really well, and I was just like, man, this experiment is like one of the experiments that I feel like turned out right. The first time especially, because I think this whole build is an experiment, but yeah, I absolutely love that little spot. I think it looks really nice, and it really ties back into the nature theme, and I like the little doodads we added. I added like the little tiny, like, what's it called? Cow plant from Paranormal Kit, which looks really cute. And yeah, now moving on to the roofing. This is where we realize that the tree goes through the roof. And I didn't really get to say this earlier because I was explaining some other stuff, but the tree was somebody's idea in chat. All shout outs and kudos to them. I absolutely love the idea. They were just, I think they were saying checking in a tree or something, and I was like, yeah, a tree sounds cool. And then I was like, we got this big open area, let's put it there, and it just turned out really well. Until we realized the fact that the tree stuck through the roof, and I had a couple of different ideas. I was like, one, what if we like made this a plant rooftop? Like we just chuck in a bunch of plants to cover it. But the main issue was there's not really a plant that matches the leaves to cover it. And someone was like, I don't really like the type of plant that I was using. They're like, maybe something more floral. But then the floral ones didn't really cover the tree. And I was just like, dang it. After, like, literally, I felt like this was like an hour. I don't even know how long. Of just trying to figure out this roofing. I was just like, let's just add another level. And everybody thought this was so funny because they were like, that was an idea. Like, we could have done that sooner. And I was like, yeah, my bad. Yes, we can. So we added that. It does make me change the whole entire roofing style and design. Because originally I thought what I saw in somebody else's like library was like they made a whole entire book out of roofing, I think. Don't quote me, I'm not sure. But I thought that was so cool, and I was like, maybe we can do something fun with the roofing and whatnot. But we ended up with the design we have now. And don't get me wrong, I do like it. I like the way it looks. I like it really adds to the fact of a fish tank. But the rest of the roofing does change also. I didn't really want like the house type roofing design. I didn't really like that. So eventually you'll see I chucked that out as another option. Just bye-bye. And I was like, let's play with platforms. I've seen people play with platforms before, make nice roofing designs. But I didn't really have an idea. I do love the way it turns out, even though I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to chuck up some platforms and then layer it at the same time. But eventually you'll see we do add a rooftop garden. Someone was like, it could be like a community garden. And then I also add the plants around the edging, which honestly looks really nice. It adds to the theme. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but it was not an idea I had until very, very last minute, let's just say. But in the end, it's pretty, in my opinion. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, which if you haven't yet, please don't forget the like button, and also go down below to the comments, let me know what you guys are thinking. This is kind of, like I said, so many different ideas, and I really do want to post more build, like, challenges and stuff on our channel, but I'm personally not a builder, but I'm getting in there. I feel like I'm slowly becoming one with the community. I'm just, like, lost in sea. I'm just, like, I'm figuring it out, you know? Hammer, nail, we got this. But now moving on into the little cafe section, which did go through a lot of reflection also. Mainly was one, the colors of the shelving and everything. Two was also the fact that I knew I wanted a cafe in the library, just like a spot to get cozy, drink some coffee and whatnot. But I know cafes don't necessarily work because they're not needed in The Sims 4 for libraries. So my other issue was that it kind of became more of like a homing kitchen, like just an at-home kitchen, and I didn't really love that. But in the end, it does look nice. It's kind of like a self-serving little area where you can get your coffee, you can lounge at, you can go to the little balcony. I mean, obviously, this library is very trusting of people for the fact that they won't spill coffee everywhere on the books and damage them and whatnot, but considering the fact we got plants and whatnot, I keep saying whatnot, but considering we still have plants and everything and that can be damaging to the books, I think they have to have some specialty or wizard work in here to keep everything in order. But either way, like I said, I do love the look of it. I knew I wanted to keep it and I also made sure to add tea in case you weren't a coffee drinker. But I personally am a coffee drinker, so I was like, I wanted to incorporate it, get all those extra details and doodads and like a coffee sign and whatnot. And yeah, I love it. Honestly, it's a library I'd want to visit. And even though there's a lot of indecisiveness, I absolutely love the way it looked from the plant pictures that I wasn't sure originally if it should be a backslash or not. I love that it's up top. I love the shelving, the extra plants and doodads we threw in there. Another thing I wasn't quite sure on, but I absolutely love, it was just kind of something I added when we were looking for plants, is like this divider. And the idea with the divider was I was thinking, like, you know how at malls, some malls, if you're at an eating area, they divide the area with like just plants to cover your eyesight from everybody else. I don't know if it makes sense here, but it looked really nice. It added more to the nature theme. So I kept it. I was just like, it looks good. Whether it makes sense or not, I don't know if this build makes sense overall, but aesthetic wise, it looks really pretty, and it divides the area nicely, and it gives the people, if they wanted to read at the bar, a sense of privacy, in my opinion. So now moving into the little fishbowl area, this is absolutely my favorite spot. I think this is what really hits the nail on the whole nature theme, because we got like this giant tree you can just sit around. We got the mismatched chairs, the cozy chairs. We have like a mushroom stool and little grass patches of rugs, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks really good. I think if you can see there on the side there is a computer area. I don't include that in the editing or the clips right now just because it does change. That's what at very last minute what I realized was like, oh, we need a chess table. So that little area on the first floor will become that. And like I said, you'll see that in the final tour. There was already a lot indecisiveness and changing and building that I was just like, we're gonna clip some things out, and hopefully that's okay with you guys and whatnot. But yeah, so I think that's it for the little area down here. Obviously adding those doodads and whatnot. But moving on to the second floor, this is the floor that I was like, okay, we want like a little kids area, somewhere you can chuck your kids in The Sims, or you know, in a library, I feel like they all have like little kids areas, you know, where your kid can just be creative or read and have a little area that they get excited for when they go to the library. The kids need a reason. They don't want to be like, oh, the library, dang it, what the heck, Mom, why are you taking me here? So I had a lot of fun, but I did struggle a lot with this area, mainly due to the fact that bookshelves aren't really designed in The Sims 4 for it to be like kids' height. So I ended up using, I am sorry to say, from the, what's it called, the pet pack, what is it called? Oh, Jesus. I literally remembered before I started recording, so I wouldn't forget. The one pack that nobody likes. Remind me in the comments down below, because I can't clearly remember, but I added those in here because they just worked out so well, and they looked aesthetically pleasing for the kids area. And it added a little touch while also adding bookshelves and the whole ordeal for the kids area, and I just left it like that. I hope it's okay. If you do download it and you don't have that, you can easily just replace the bookshelves for yourself and make it still work. I just absolutely adore it. I hate the fact that it's a pack that not many people are head over heels for, I won't lie, but it looked really well, and I knew I'm going to be using this build for myself, and I was like, okay, you know, obviously I want it to be downloadable for you guys, but at the same time I want it to be something I also love, and it looks really good. You can't lie, right? Doesn't it look good? And now for the final details. Someone recommended that we use the new sky ceiling thing, and I was like, sure, you know, it's a kids area, we can make it fun. They also recommended that we use the cloud lights and whatnot, and I was like, okay, that's too, you know, we have to do that. So I added that. It does make it so I have to change the wallpaper. It just didn't look well with the previous one, but I do love the one that we changed it for, which has like grass and butterflies on. Plus it really brightens and ties all the greens we have. The other thing that I really struggled with was figuring out the fencing, and then like with the columns and whatnot. I changed that out a lot too, but I ended up, you know, just taking that out and making it the normal like fencing and everything. I thought we'd get something to match, but it looks fine. It looks cleaner when it has all the matching and the same. So sorry for rushing. I didn't realize I clipped out this much that I have to talk this fast, but that's usually not an issue for me. My issue is that I talk too fast and I need to talk slower. But moving on to this little area, I add like a little stairwell, which it wasn't sure if I like it, but it, you know, the brick and everything to keep it connected to the upstairs, to the outside. And here is where we add the computer area. So this is where I was like, oh god, we have computers downstairs. So a lot of it was copy and paste, which is why I didn't record that. It was mainly, yeah, I copy and paste the chairs, the desk, the bookshelves, the artwork, just tying the downstairs to the second floor, which is, in my opinion, part of the build, unless I want to dig for every item, but I don't imagine anybody wants to do that, so I was like, let's just dig that up from downstairs instead. Yeah, the only thing I'm not totally sure about is the rugs, just because the rugs felt a bit rogue, but I really felt like they personalized each area a bit more for people utilizing it. And now we're just throwing in the final little details of art, lamps, and a few extra seating, and I think that floor is done. Now we're moving on into the community garden, which I absolutely do adore. I originally was thinking like just like a rooftop type of garden, but someone was like, oh, it could be the communities one, and I think that makes perfect sense. My main thing was like, if somebody wants their sim to live here, they easily can, which I add like we have the garden, we have like a little food section, we got a trash can, and I don't think many people do that, but it is an option, especially on this build. If you ever want your sim to be a home away from home, and that's our library. So I was like, it makes sense. I just wanted to fill the area up, make it look aesthetically pleasing, adding all those extra doodads and whatnot. And yeah, I absolutely love the way it turns out. As for the rooftop, now moving on to the second floor, we have, I just made it like a little fireplace, some logs to sit on. Kind of a cozy, outdoor, in nature type of feel, but nothing special other than attracting a few plants and whatnot. Now, I'm coming to the end here, I believe, which I am sorry that we kind of like zipped through a lot of it. I did want to make sure that we get all of it in there, but we will see the final tour and all the extra details, and yeah, we're just doing the final little balcony out on the first floor, and now let's get into the tour. Okay, so here is the final look of the build. I won't lie though, I did throw in that sign last minute because I realized as I was staring at our build, I was just like, how can we have a library but no sign and whatnot? But I threw that in there for us. I'm sorry, I did upload on the gallery and it's not there. But as you guys can see, we got little front seating over here, and then if you follow the path to the inside, this lovely library we got going on, we have a bunch of seating and whatnot. You get to see the art a bit better, where we placed everything. We get immediately a bunch of books to choose from. I guess let's get on over here. Obviously, you guys saw the bathrooms, I feel like, pretty well, but little glimpse, and they're identical, so if we just you see that. And then I did use the updated doors where you guys can see the little toilets on there. I thought might as well check those out, use them and whatnot. And then as we head over here to my favorite section, a couple of them, I'm not gonna lie, we have first things here is like a little seating area. I'm imagining like a kid's little hidden corner, or maybe somebody could sit here and do like an open reading. Might be fun. I don't know. It's just like a hidden spot. I enjoyed it, building it, and I don't know why it's quite here, other than it's like a fun little hidden away, tucked away space. And if you're regular, you know about it and you want to sit there, obviously. But over here we have is our fishbowl type of area with a great old tree, plenty of books. I guess they would have had to build the building around the tree, or the tree just, they built the building and the tree slowly grew as the community grew, whichever one you like more. And over here, which I feel like you didn't really get to see, we have like a little table here, little where you can community read. Maybe I'm imagining it would have like the plugins, but obviously it's The Sims 4, so we only can have so much. Over here is where I did add those chess tables, because I realized I literally did not add any in this library, which, oops, my bad. Now let's fly on over to the kitchen. We have the kitchen. Oh, dang it, I called it a kitchen. It's because I don't want it to look like a kitchen, but I feel like it kind of does. But to the cafe section, okay? We have our little cafe sign. We got seating here and a kitchen where I did add communal mugs. I don't think that makes sense in my head. I feel like you'd bring your own mug, but there's one here. And then if we slide on out, we have like plenty of seating spots, which slides back in near the entryway. So that's our little lap here. Let's head on up and to the second floor. As you guys can see, I don't know, I feel like a spiral stair would have made like sense in a library, but I don't know. It did make a challenge for building around it, but I did love it and I felt like it was needed. So over here is we have a bunch of computers. So kind of a home space away from home. I felt if you're going to be working on a computer, it might be nice to see your kid. There's also books up here and whatnot, and some seating, not as much, but it's just a way you can check your kids if you want to, or they can run up here, grab some books for themselves, hang out, and yeah. And let's see, over here we have our second little area, outdoor area. We have some eating spots, which I did incorporate, a little fire pit and whatnot, and yeah, now heading off into the upstairs, I guess, to our last little area outside where we have our community garden, which I do love. I like all the extra details. I felt like the community kind of came up here, built it slowly and whatnot, and went from there. Sorry, I'm moving the treats away from my kitten. Which she's right here, as you can see. But up here we have, I feel like I didn't really show all the little doodads we have and whatnot, which we had the like gnomes, the little wall stuff, and little pots and whatnot, a watering system, which I will caution, I don't know. I do know they eventually can like puddle and stuff. I don't know what it will work like on a community lot, so you can take them out as a preface if you want to, or someone was like you can upgrade them if they get kind of annoying, and that's an option. But yeah, so that's it for this beautiful build. I would say the open fish tank type of room with the tree in it is absolutely my favorite design part of this, like this whole entire build. So let me know what you guys think of our little nature themed library, and I can't wait to do our next themed build. And yay, that'll be it for this video. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new to this village, welcome on in. I would like to apologize for my cat's presence this video, but clearly she really wanted to be known today. She's used to me hanging out in this chair and being a part of our streams, if you guys know that. But let me know what you guys think of the build overall. I absolutely enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see what we come up with next, and I feel like my builds have been slowly getting better, and it's literally all thanks to you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye!